There's nothing better than the smell of a newly opened bag of green. Tea. Hey guys, my name is Espen, and welcome to Viking in Japan. Today, I'm going to show you through the maze that is making green tea. It's time for some cheese. I wish I had some sunglasses. So today I'm going to be covering making green tea, just the leaves, not the powder, which is called matcha. If somebody has an interest in that, I might be able to do that at a later date, but right now I don't have enough information. And so, sorry guys. Green tea might be an acquired taste, but it's chock full of so many health benefits, that you just have to give it the old college try. Some of the claimed and or proven benefits include improved blood flow, lower cholesterol, high blood pressure prevention, congestive heart failure prevention, it combats Alzheimer's, and some studies even suggest that it might even help in the fight against cancer. But this hasn't been proven yet. So in conclusion, you'd be a fool not to drink this shit. A fool! A damn fool! Alright, so Japanese teas are categorized by the age of the leaves. The younger leaves are known as sencha, whereas the older leaves and larger leaves are known as buncha. There are other categories as well, such as kuki-cha and kabusa-cha, and hojicha. Types of teas are commonly graded depending on the quality, the parts of the plants used, and even the process in which it's been prepared. There's huge variations within quality and price within all these categories, and there's even a shit ton of these teas that fall way outside the spectrum. That's not why you're here. You're here so I could show you some green tea. So let me stop wasting your time and let's get right to it. And now for some history. I'm pretty sure most of you know the history of how green tea got to Japan, but for those of you who don't, here's a brief summary. Green tea was first brought over to Japan from China in 1191, and since then it's become incredibly popular. And the rest, as they say, is history. Alright, enough chit chat, let's get to it. So we all know the basic process of how to make tea. You add hot water to dried leaves, steep, and then drink. Oh yeah, and don't choke on the tea bag. Anyway, there are 4 major components to consider when making green tea. What the? No. Much better. Where was I? Oh yeah, 4 major components. Amount of water, temperature of water, amount of tea, and time for steep. Now if you have tea from Japan, it will usually have instructions on the back, but if you haven't learned the 2000 kanji, this might not seem all that helpful to you. But don't worry, with the help of the pictures on the back, a little bit of common sense, and 2 kanjis, we'll get through this. Alright, now let's see. As you can see, most of these instructions carry many resemblances, so I'm pretty sure that if we can interpret one of these, then the rest should fall like steamy green dominoes. Alright, step 1. Add green tea to your pot of choice. It doesn't matter if your setup looks like this or like this. What's important is that you can separate the leaves from the water later on. Alright, so as you can see, grams is written as G and pretty easy to distinguish. So we're going to need about 4 grams. It's about a tablespoon to make 2 cups of tea. Which leads us to our first kanji, hai, which means 1 cup of liquid. Hai is composed of the symbols ki and fu. Now the way I try to remember this kanji is basically that since the first symbol means tree and the second symbol means I actually see a cup carved out of the base of the tree. And in this cup is sake. And what do you say if somebody asks you if you want some sake? You say hai. Another weird thing that I try to use to remember it is basically that these 2 symbols kind of look like 2 people. Now they each have 1 horizontal line, and I like to picture this as 2 businessmen. The first one has the tie still around his neck, whereas the second one has it around his head. Kinda like Hachimaki, because he's been drinking too much sake. Now, that might be too complicated and a little bit too weird for you, but that's how I remember it. Now then you want to add the water. Most of the tea I've come across states that the water should be around 95 degrees Celsius, which is around boiling. Most water boilers should not have a problem with this. But be aware, I have noticed that some of the finer teas actually require lower temperatures. Alright, on to step 3. Let the tea steep for a while. This specific tea needs to steep for 20 seconds. And that leads us to our second and final kanji, byo, which means 1 second. Byo is composed of the symbols nogi and sho. Now this one is pretty easy for me to remember, because all I do is picture 2 guys running down a path, and the guy in the back is in second place. Now, the timing is pretty important for the flavor and overall texture of your tea, so be vigilant. The important thing is to get the tea leaves away from the liquid. On to the fourth and final step. Pour the tea into 2 cups, or any other container for that matter, and enjoy. And that's how you make green tea. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please check out my other videos and subscribe to this channel. You can also find Viking in Japan on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Everything's written down in the description, so please check us out. Well guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. あとだね。